fionga pleskingi mali. Sunga boli sui pleskingi. Malu ako fionga I senkoa. Au le I anu loa si fam kalanga I. Alau aku mat whanalo lau fionga sentoa mao si fionga inga skaku kalsak. Kaku amakamele ni kaya lo whanalo.
Tātou tātou. E tualo mātou te mā. E siri e se o lau o fio le ngā patia ma o ieiso mātou mālamalama. O mātou atu I te oele nei tai au fou lo mātou ri I. E whaaponga ina la mātou rua I wala au I te oe o lo mātou tua whai mea si. Wa tai au manui ai ta māla maota I le nei tai au fou, ai mese o lo watu nuu ato I tupu mai. Pese fo yo te inga whai ngā mālo o lo mātou ri I. Le mātango pio le pupula mai o le lai le nei aso o lo mātou ri I. Fōringa wa ai o le lo fatuno o lo pio. A mātou o iei le nei o langa le tumau. Bi ia whakiteia le lo fatuno o oetama. E ala I mele le umalo e sauni a pēa lapa pēa mo mātou tangata. Ho I a te oele vi inga. E ala le taulanga na sauni e lo wal pele o Iesu Keristo. Mātou wala au I a te oelo mātou ari ie. Au maia lo manuia mau whaamanianga I tonu ta maole nei maota lo mātou ari ie. O amata au po le a whenga iele nei aso ta mā. E matari tonu o mātou loto. E lei se me whainga tā I lawa fio pe a mātou watu whaatasi I a te oe. Ngalue ina le mana o lo lava anganga pa ia lo mātou loto lo mātou ri ia. Ne ia mātou mawale nei ngā ruenga mawa so vi inga. E awa lava I o mātou tangata whamangalo I o mātou se lo mātou atua. Le talo e ala te swafa manuala o Iesu Keristo. Amen.
Kai ako lau fionga li sentoa mo li kaulanga si kia po ngi kai au. Kau ko ia wha maru le whaki pa I or kai au. Maru po le mauka li fioku li fionga le pleskeng. Sui po pia po io. Ngo o mai kumano. Ako i lima o whakano pa ngi kai au. Kai po I le ko po yung bobo ngi a ngoa kakau ki seinoa I ai. Langi mamama le soifua manguia. Ia hui man maru ngi kai au. Ia. Whakano whak. Ko I le ko rongo vi inga. Ai. Inga nga I los fam kalanga. Ia. E walawaku li ako mun mau lau sunga walan ba. Kato. Mai se voi le kalainga ia. Kalangi au I oli. Lau whaman mod. Yeah.
Just.
Aku payol mo kay aku li imon wakalo po po ili sumay makalamay au mga kuli marula baleli le komiki fa foili kangadwen sumay aku sung ay ikilis fam kalanga aku la ngoy aku sungay ya ipay may po siya para ilo may ako swa ya ako pa may pasono de ul parol.
Ya, whakatau atu le awanoi le. Lau awhionga le taitai whono. Ya, e ele langona vai o le a tātou taulanga ta sia pe ona. Mori la palapa o malo e le awhionga le ali o ngafu. Tātou te whakatau e ele alofa e mese le anga le lei o le atua. Mori o mailo o tau soifua lau le lei o awhionga. Tupu mai e mese foi tama mtua. Awhionga I sentoa o awhioanga e mese I tu malo. E ele le manatu, ia, ngonga lalvi inga malwhakta I le tua, pia na saunoa ina, ia, ele pionga I sentoa. E fia le nei tae au, pai mafonga tau moli ole. E fionga CEO ia Wallen Young, ia e mese foi le sunga taitai ia Ryan tuato. Fia e whatulou, mo whatalo whatu le nei tae au, le pai o le morto le atunu. Le morto lo filfili ai mga ngau, Fisi le tofa. Ia ea se manuia. Tangata anu o tutuila maunu. Ia o manua ma olohenga. I fia whātalo pātu lau whionga, whātulo at foi lau whionga. First day nil mota. Whionga le tua olo. Ia, te talainga sa whalenga fulu ia le motu. Ia mese foi le sunga le sui first day ne. Ia whionga le sa o ia manga lei. Ia, ai mese lau sunga le taitai fono. Ponausuia. Whionga le alionga o le paleono. Ia, vi ia le atua le nei tai au. Ia, tai nane aile, ma pue le mota. Le fio sentoa. Ia, ile nei tai au. Whātalo whātuai le suafa man malolo tātou di. Ia ono le avano maua. Tangsia lona file mu. Tau li tia nei tātou le nei tai au. Le a fwis tau whainga walen. Ia mese le mtanga ruenga o le ASPA. Ia, tau na ia maua se ai le nei tai au. Manu te leina whāptai.
Malo. Ia. Salo le kai au ngi o le. Malonga mafuanga. Ia, o le fia maua e. E ka mai o le kuule. Manu fuan mau. O le ase kulanga o i le ngā whai kua le kau kungaruenga. I o ngā kulanga uma ai pa mawhalawa ai le kule o le nā pisi pe o ngā. Fia maua se manu maanga. O le whai se kulanga o i le ngā whai kua le kau kungaruenga. I kongkalake i alo o lakawa o inga le nā pisi. Ia, o si sosoa kunga ngi ko kai au kongo le fua ma au mai e fionga senko ya ya le mafu anga fo ngi kai au pionga ala waku le fionga please kingi fo mal malul mo ya ko fio ya mga ko mo le ngoli ka ko mau kai a fo ngi ko lunga ngi ka upo fo e fia mangingo mal lama ya lewa kan la kule ngo ya ko fiong au sunga le president do valol
fa tele la fiong al te committee fatalo fat fo il poi al mota le fio mai to fiong ali sento al neta out e mes fo el officer manuel ASPA le sul tai a wallen e lua meta uela no a whaini po ula. O tangata e te talaina, e me le taualunga. O le sola a to il whali maso le fono. E leo taualunga o tau le aso le nei, talimatai. E le ami atu o tau o si su e vale. O le fia mau o sa mamla mango le atunu. O le fisiri mo mo la me o le tu o tu i tu le la pisi. O tala no mai se utama o maunga le aso saa. E fisiringia po le mea ua. E o tele o iloa la si li ipo i ini an taba la pisi po le ase mea ua. Se whamama mamai po le mea ua le maua ina ia, whai pisinisi le nea vano. Le fo i taba lea. A utu le fo i taba lea si foa ma lau whai pisinisi, le mea ua le ave i le la pisi.
Ia whai atu le saunoanga le pionga le presidente. Ia, e wale le pisid. Ia, tali tula ia saunoanga le sunga te ta ia wale. Ia, o nei o lo tau avea le pito la au leo le. O leo toota la fo el tatu watunu. Le ngata o toota i fale. Ia, whapea fo le ua mea ma. Tulanga le white goods. Ia, ma fufuanga whapea na. Au le pisile nei, ta iau lau pionga sentoa. O lo o maua pele avanoa o lo avea ile. Ia kon karate ia I tua I nei tātou whai pisinisi se tu lo e le o ponitia le avanoa lea ono le nganga maulunga ia e au ngā whai nei tau tua I e whaola ola aia tu langa whai pisinisi ia e mese whai mau e whai ngā ruenga o nisi o alo ma whanau o le atunu ia mese whai nei o tātou uso atua oi ia o lo o ngafa ma lea whai ngā ruenga ia o le tali atuna ma whaloa le tusai ma le pisik
Ele o mamlama leia o lala le me wala inga mai kou ka vale.
Ia, whaptai atu le saunoanga. Le lua whe lua sifuru mo le silfia ta a whai nei le atunu o le poviti. O nei nasa whananau ai ala ngona lo nei tangata ia me se le fionga le usuali o fai langi folau ina ia malu pui puia le tapenanga le atunu i le tulanga al fama ia le lana e se tofa fautuina foi le fionga ia le CEO ia wale ia ele toyanga va anta to flat bed se tulo le tale la pesi mala welunga ia na matula yo le ngeti ia ufi ai ele saunga le mu o le memo mua ele saunga le mu ia o le lona lua ia ele sefe foi mo le afa maduenga le lana e se finangalo ia ina ia au mai lava ia tulanga o tavale standardize ia o tavale e anga va ma le foi faiva le ngata e marutia i tono tavale ia ai sosoani foi nei fanau po nei alo le atunu ia o le tongi lung ia na le mai atu ia se tulo ta a fa faingo fieina ai mesel malu puin ona sa fainga ta lava le mato faiva nei ua special ia le tatu atunu fa ma ia o le ngi se fi fainga dua ona le matsta u ma le fefe pa ma ia e pe o mato wani ia na fai asuki ia mata mo ai ave tau tua e pe o le nganga tua olo tu se mal fafsi ia le lawa mai el ASPA ia tu lango tavan pa fai ngo fie foi kon karat a fai o le fai la tun fa tau ia le la matu fa tau o tavan ia ai o mai la lepa o mai la e so soan tale la pis ia ai provide el ASPA le tavan ia mal tavan ia ole taliatuna mal falo alo mo silfia el mot
E lei lani fai pisinisi o ini la to tavale o auina le o tau tapio o tau wa. E saunga le alo sauna.
Ya, mo le silafia ona e lua e tolu tulanga le lampisi se tulo le o tau. O le lampisi fale ya o lo o fafoe lava e tavale al ASPA. Lampisi le fale le fai le puni ya le in kampanti ko. O le lampisi ua mea. Ya, se tulo tapafua suafa. Ya, o le tavale lava asifua le o lo patino ai. O le pin me mata le pole tungsten ia o le vale lava ale fionga Maoputasi ia o lo patino ai le fa moi ia o le tali atuna mal falot
So tavale na ia auto e provide e company nei le lepa saunga le alo sauna.
ia e fa pena lava pio le nganga o le fai paanga ina ia awane i motu le fai paanga le fai ngamalo ma company ia ina ia fai fosu tatou sao e sosoan ia ina ia maintain tulanga o le lei o company
A tupulas farlave tangata nei o e laipo.
ia se sau no atu matu te tai
Good morning, Honorable Senate President and Honorable Senators. Regarding liability, if the equipment provided by ASPA is defective, ASPA will be liable. But if the contractor is negligent, they are liable.
So my question if these people provide the labor, but if anything happened to a person, who's liable? Because you're not provide the labor. The company provide the labor. So if anything happened to these people, who's liable?
It really
Because it's your car.
Yeah. If the contractor is on a ASPA truck, the ASPA will be liable. And like I said, if the ASPA provides defective trucks or equipment, ASPA will be liable.
O la le mele complain mai e fionga Maoputasi. Se fa mama mai a kongo fa fonga mai le ringi. E langa o vakua langa o le ngale o mako e whaikio mo e constituents. E nga mai le eva kuia o ko. O le kongo le mele le o fifia le. Wa le saungo le provide e nga ka vale piningi. O le kongo le mele e a kongo fa mama mai po fa fonga mai fo le ringi.
ia dai mo pa sili o plama president o te leo maua le lei o le atonu le atunga lunga o le fionga le Maoputasi ia ai paua se o malamlama ona wa ule o te whea ngaia ma le fionga le Maoputasi ma malana foi company o te o te tautala la ma le alofa. Ia, e me se fu te tautala le ava. O te longa, ia, ai o isi taimi e, o te abe se ai atulanga, o le leo le whaatinonga le ngaluenga. E le le whaatinonga, ia, ai lau nei sene nau te abe se, ia, ona wale atoa, ona le le whaatinonga. Ia, o mea masani a tātou, a le na whaatino se ngaluenga. Ia, e le te tau whena maua le tutongi atoa. Ia, o te langona, ia, pe o le tūlanga lea, i loo lea tau mate atu. Ia, o te leo lopo e ini si tūlanga. Ia, whai o le tūlanga lea, ia, leo o tau tala manino. Ia, mo le sila fia le maota le wafionga le prestene, e me se fui le atunu whalongolong. Ia, ai ona i sene na, ia, ono le o le whaatinonga le ngaluenga se tulou.
Lea tau tau tawa le whauna nei.
E tele matu tawa le
Tawa le ia whau ia o tau lea whioi nei. Fia tau tawa le na.
E lua ia tawa le ria ande, ta ina le pen la boa. Ia, ai wha ia tawa le ia...
Papa ena o le whāna o tawa le whāna au te whiusi. Lea tau o tawa le na.
300,000.
Ia, lata le tolu se lau wafe le tawa.
Tawa le four atas.
Ia, lea lau.
E le mwhaina awi tu e kampani tawa le na e provai a whātau ia i. Asifoa po utu. Au mai nā tu e whaini service na. E o ese o tau.
Ia, ia o ta vale nei o lo iei lava le grant o lo au mai ele ASPA ia ta vale.
Angana o tau whai atu ofisiri nei tu to o ma. O le nganga ia o private enterprise nei. O le ale tupe maua fo ele polofiki. E sau se vaenga e kongo le channel fund i sosani il mano. Al me le uva vai atu i uma kua. O le si empire le ASPA me le uva le uva vai nei. O le ase tali auto.
Ia, se sau no atu ia, to.
After lava fionga mo le amanoa. Tūlanga o le tautua le ASPA i whātau nuu le service ma whaititi e complaints o tūlanga o whasea le tunu ulanga la pisi la whai e leo se mea kulanga for public health. E nau le ASPA e tamu whai e whauau le service e tolu aso le vai aso e piki a ia bens po o tūlanga o la pisi a le tunu. E i whai ataimi ele o ato toa i le tautua le isi company. Ia, o mafuanga ngā isi kausanga, isi masinga whai mako records. E stacks o complaints e, o le ofisa ula sa complaints, ia o le to whai a sua le kure koe complaints e fofo a kulanga o le service. Ia o mātoa taltonunga. Ana le leile le service, ma whauau wha se laupasenga le service, e le se mela a mai fue ASPA whai tūlanga wha apea. Ia, tautala atu man whaloalo tūlanga nei mataupu. O le nau le ASPA, ia le leile service, ia tau nuu le service langa tūlanga lapisi, e le o le lei mo le sango le mua o tangata pea tūla fo ia lapisi, le tūlou.
E stafe o kou se cash i tu o tō ofisa. E sto sefe tu o se cash.
I le teimi le nei, e le o iese cash kongo le matu se ngi sefe.
E se teimi sa ese cash e lata tono miliona sa.
I le teimi ua, a teimu whafsidi, i le teimi na tau wha malu e lua e tūlanga o le banks. Mato e fo i le 2023 sa i le teimi sa stock e le cash tūlanga ke ua kupuse me i financial institutions. Olo i se ia se cash e kongi e konga lake whape fo i le payroll le ASPA. Ai wa umaman toi ave matongo le bank i le mato mainga le luafe lua tolu e whamaunia i le mauta nei. O koe ave uma le se cash o kongo le sefe le ASPA temi nei.
Paul, what, 3 million?
Yeah, temi o le whaiunga o le COVID, ma le amatanga o le financial situation is about 3 million.
Kasi ala of city chairman nga si Kufula mo ngisenko. Wallen, the thing here at Utule still smell. I called so many times. You know, I represent in Ponausuia and Fano, the Maoputasi County, from Whangaalu to Aua. What happened? Now, it happens in Malaloa now again. Smell, what happened?
Honorable Senator, firstly, we apologize. We have been putting chemicals and treatment to the waste. We're getting 1 million gallons per day from the east side now. It's new. But if I may put it this way, if you go, you must have seen yourself, sewer treatment plants are always stuck on side roads. They're never on the main roads. But we don't have that land, the luxury of land on here, so that's why our treatment plant is right by the roadside. But that's not the place to put a treatment plant. It's always inside a side road and going in, isolated from the public. So we're trying our very best. We're spending a lot of money on chemicals and treatment. But the volume of waste we're getting now has increased significantly since we connected the east side. I apologize for the auto. We'll just double our efforts to try to reduce it as much as possible.
Well, when Utu was a director, this would never happen. Now it's, I don't know why.
We're having a larger volume. 3 million gallons a day of waste comes to the treatment plant. 3 million gallons. Before, when the fewer homes were sewered, we had about 1 million gallons, and it was more manageable. But now we have 3 times more because more homes are sewered, and it all comes to the treatment plant. Yeah.
Is it caused by too many poimasima or what? On the waste and opwa? Thank you, Chairman.
Yeah. Jack Milo Pyongoli, President. You have known it. Pyongo Yaut.
Thank you, no. Pyonga Tete Committee Nature out, Talo Part for Tatum and Mau, the Sunga CEO, Wallen, Topia for you, Lango, Ryan, Missunga for your time. I want to stick with the trash before we go to the next one. Okay. You mentioned that the service is not that good for right now, and why the thing hasn't been bid out yet, if the service is not good.
Thank you, Honorable Senator. Once the existing contract expires, or just before it expires, we'll rebid, because there's have been 3 renewals already, and the plan is to rebid.
So how much longer we have to wait?
I don't have the contract in front of me, but I believe it's by this year, towards the end of the year.
Expire this year?
That's correct.
Okay. Wallen, I call your office too many times because they don't pick up my trash. Okay, and I got about more than 60 accounts with ASPA. And that's a lot of money going in before we use your electricity. Okay, how much are you collecting from the trash per yearly?
For the whole year, the solid waste collection is only 3.6 million for the whole year.
3.6 million?
Yeah, and just to, if I can add to that, we have 7 contractors for waste collection. We have the landfill to maintain. So there's not much funds in solid waste collection. So we don't want to raise rates. So we try to make it as we try to spend that dollar stretch it as much as possible, and satisfy the public. But right now, especially for the dumpsters, we brought the complaints. It's in the truck where we didn't want to bring it in, but if you want to see it, we have stacks of complaints from the public, written complaints, and the telephone complaints is 10 times more. That's why some of the companies we work with, I don't want to name them, but they're unhappy with us because when they don't pick and we cut the payments, they really fight us. Say, why you cut the payments? You don't collect, you don't get paid. So we have some unhappy contractors that way.
How much are you paying these contractors?
Well, for the dumpsters, we pay $70,000 a month for one contractor for the dumpster collection. And the contract is clear. It says 3 times pickup a week. But the contractor doesn't pick up 3 times a week. I'm sorry to say this, but I don't want to make any contractor look bad, but they don't pick up 3 times a week and they still demand full payment. They're supposed to pick 3 times a week, but they don't. So as a result, ASPA has to buy 2 more trucks just to make up the routes until the contract expires.
Wallen, I collect trash for 6 years. I had a contract for 3 years and then extend for another 3 years. It was bid out, and I was the lowest, okay? I got paid $1.3 million every month. I mean, and I think was back then was only 2 point something million that you're collecting, and you're now collecting 3.4, you said?
Yeah.
And
About
you're paying out.
3.6. Yeah.
So you think maybe this contractor is not doing a good job? It's because you're giving them peanuts? You're supposed to pay them more? I bid on this contract. I bid on it, and I thought I was going to get the contract, but it went out to somebody else. But how's the service? Maybe the rate is too low.
I remember, Senator Utu, when you were providing that service, you were doing the dumpster plus the bins or the small household containers. But this one is only the dumpster, so it's over $800,000 a year just for the dumpster.
I had 3 big trucks that was picking up trash, and I also have those trucks that you have right now, that they're picking up right now that you guys bought. I have those things, but it's no longer in use because it's been gone for a long time. This is 5 years now. So I dismantle it and then try to scrap it out. And that's why I'm saying, why did not, this contract was not bid out so we can get somebody out there to do. I remember, let me finish. I remember back then when you guys have the trash, when you go into private, all the trucks that you have was transferred over to Paramount, I think, and you guys make a deal, whatever it is, to continue the trash until they get on their 2 feet. And that's what you should do on this contract. And you keep on doing like this, but I call your office so many times because my trash is not picked up, but we're paying you every month. The difference between any business here on the island and your business, because you are not wanted, you are neat. So you have a strong arm to cut off the power. So that's why you guys are in good condition of your cash flow. But unlike other business, it's wanted. They can cut it off and nobody cares. But you guys, if you cut my power off or cut my water off, I'm worried. That's my livelihood. You know, I can't live there in my house without a power and water. So you have to pay these people good. And like the president said, you cannot do those kind of half-half thing because the liability is big. Why can't you pick this thing? If you guys think that the contractor is not doing his job, pick the project out so everybody can have a fair share of it.
Honorable Senator, in 2018, that's exactly what we did. We bid it out. The contractor was supposed to supply the equipment and the labor. We wholesale. It was farmed out. And the result was very bad. That's why we had to make the change. We don't want to be doing additional work if we don't have to. But that's what we did. We bid out everything, labor, equipment, and the results were just...
Warren, I do not want an answer back from you guys over there when I call you and said the contractor, you call the contractor. I don't pay the contractor, I pay you. So you have to make sure the service is good. But don't give me this crap that I have to call the contractor. That's not what when I was picking up the trash. They call you, but I be on the top all the time. I never, even how many times you call me, I go out there and send the people out there to get the job done.
Yeah, Honorable Senator, I have never told you to call a contractor. If any of our staff did that, I apologize for that. Yeah.
Okay, let's move into the power, okay? How much are you charging right now for the kilowatts?
36 cents a kilowatt hour.
Okay? Out of that 36 cents, how much, what does it cost you to produce the electricity per kilowatt?
About 30 cents, and after 30 cents to produce a kilowatt hour, 26 cents is the fuel.
How many cents? 30 cents is the fuel?
26 cents.
Huh.
Can you circulate? We brought a chart where you will see the three different components, or the two different components, the fuel surcharge and the base rate. Could you circulate it first?
So your base rate is like 0.37, around 37, 38 cents?
Okay, if I may, if you can.
Oh, no, I'm looking, I have to look down the bottom, okay.
Yeah. Okay,
So
you
36.
see on the graph, you see three lines. The bottom line is our base rate. The base rate is everything that is non-fuel. Labor, materials, supplies, freight, everything. And it's 9.9 cents. It has been like that for over 10 years. We have not increased the base rate. The next line up is the fuel surcharge. That's the cost of fuel to produce a kilowatt hour of electricity. And the top line is the actual electricity price. So you add the base rate plus the fuel surcharge, you get the electric rate, which is on the top line. Now you can see in 2022, when fuel prices were high, the electricity price was 54 cents a kilowatt hour. Now it has come down to 36 cents. So that is a 33% drop. But our prices are dependent on the fuel price. This is why we have to move to renewable energy.
How about the efficiency of your equipment? Is the one over here in Tafuna is lesser efficiency than the one in Satala? How does that work?
That is correct. That's why we purchased 3 new generator sets, and it's under installation in Tafuna. We have to lift the fuel efficiency, because if you look at the base rate, Honorable Senator, for over 10 years we haven't increased the rate, but everything has increased in price. Materials have increased in price. Labor has increased in price. Shipping, everything has increased, but we have not increased the base rate. We try to keep the electric rate as low as possible. The only thing changing here is the fuel price.
Well, in the impression that the public is looking at ASPA as a whole, is it look like another big entity here on the island. Like you guys keep on buying equipment, but the price of the electricity is still high. You still maintain the same because you do have a fixed rate in here. So can you mitigate some of that savings that you have from getting all these grants to bring the equipment on island to bring the cost down?
Honorable Senator, the grant has requirements. We can't use the grants for certain things other than it's intended for. If it's for transformer, it's for transformer. It's for truck, for truck. We can't use the grant for something it was not intended to. We want, so what we're trying to do right now, with the new gensets we purchased, some of it, we loaned the money to improve the efficiency so that we can keep the rate and don't ask for a rate increase. That's what we have been trying for the last 10 years, and so far we have managed to achieve that.
No matter what we do, Wallen, the numbers never lies. We still look at the amount of stuff that you have on island, whichever way you get it from, whether you get it from the bank or you get it from the grants. But when you get it from the grants, that's a big plus for you. Why can't you have those things to mitigate and lower the price of the electricity? It costs too much money. It's lucky that we don't have a control price here. We have a board here to look into that. Then we have to really look into see how much it really costs on this island. Too much stuff coming in on your side, but it's nothing. I don't see any electricity coming down. the number still varies up. It depends on the surcharge because on the fuel costs.
Honorable Senator, I think we have been very lucky more recently since COVID. We have been getting quite a bit of grants. But this grant's going to dry up sooner or later. We already getting the signals from our federal partners. It's not a permanent thing. This grant's going to dry up, and all the equipment that we have acquired, we'll have to maintain it and maintain properly. These grants are not forever coming at the rate we're getting it now.
Well, I want you to look into that. Let's go to the next one, okay? Because I got a lot of senators here, they want to ask questions. On the contractors, okay? You need to help out the community. You cannot take in and in-house all the works. You got so much money that's pouring into the ASPA, but you're not helping to stimulate the economy here. You need to funnel those things out to the community so people can have money, pay tax, and then help out the community. But not continue on and in-house everything and you just give it to whoever you want. Come on.
I think ASPA has the most contractors on island. We use contractors for almost all our work, except the core functions. Except for the core functions, all the work is farmed out. We can provide the details of how much money we have paid to contractors. Contractors do most of our construction work, not in-house. Even the garbage collection is just a driver. It's the driver, but the contractors, they do all the picking. Because we have to maintain our own trucks, we have to make sure our trucks are maintained. Maintenance has been done. The fuel we have to buy, the oil change. So contractors still do most of our work. We're not trying to bring the work in-house.
Okay, I have one more question before I got a lot of questions here from other senators. One more questions. Warren, you have to get out of buying materials and have the contractor, whoever you assign those things, have those so we can help out the contractors, help the island out. You buy those materials. What is that big area over there in Pavaya? You're going to buy all the stuff from off island and then store it in it over there?
Honorable, this is what is happening. When we put out big projects, our smaller contractors cannot bid because they don't have the funds to buy the materials. Sometimes the material alone costs $3-4 million, and our smaller contractors can't bid. So what we do is we buy the materials, and then we let the contractor build it, and we give them the materials.
No, wait, Olin, that's not true, okay? The island, a lot of contractors on island are capable of doing what you just said. We used to do that before, just when you put out a project for bid, it's a labors and material. Labor and material means the contractor can help get some profit in there so they can get their business going. And that money that they're earning is going to get some taxes and then help the government out. So it's a win-win situation for the economy. The way you're doing this stuff, you're buying all the materials and stock it, and we just give us peanuts for the people for the contractors to go use their labor. Okay? Come on, we're not stupid.
No, this is what has happened too. Because of supply chain issues and the cost of shipping, the volume orders made sense, right? But if you want, what we can do is we'll put that in the bid, whatever the contractor wants. If you want to do that, then we can do that. We'll make that option available. But please don't come and ask for 50% down payment to buy the materials. That's what's happening. We can have the contractor buy the materials, and they come and ask for 50%, 100% down payment.
Then don't give the project to those people that don't do that. We, on this island, there's somebody on these islands is doing that, buying all the stuff now. Okay, so please, Warren, stop doing that. We need the contractors to get in and get this economy stimulated, okay? Stop buying all the stuff and stock it over there, and you just give us peanuts to go over there and do the labor work. That's a no-no. Okay, thank you, Chairman.
Good morning, Mr. Wall. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you, Honorable.
Yeah, Malufate for Ryan, you Mr. To Malatai. According to your record, you say it is 76 cents a kilowatt?
That is correct. Yeah.
You know, our land is it's very valuable. And according to your cent per kilowatt, is so low according to our land. It's so valuable. But what I mean is, just like the lease that you guys doing to me, is 33 acres of land. Can you tell me how much is that per square feet?
Yeah, we ASPA currently pays $10,800 an acre per year to lease. So if we lease land, it's about $10,800 per acre per year.
So that's how many cents in a square feet?
It comes down to 1 square feet. The size of this paper is about 25 cents a square foot.
Well, according to my calculation, it doesn't reach that 38 cents. It come up to 25 cents per acre.
That's right, 25 cents, yeah.
Okay. Chile kwa fa mun modeli vain. Ya, lawa fionga mutua tung yona fa mun mole e faino vasili le piri foi le nga avele kus. Le piri la ka wole le kongien ASPA. Le lis.
E fa marielo fu ngala sili pe ka kia ia businessi.
Nga leu ka fe mea o ia la re pa o fa mun mole fo kwanga rain male manule lo fisa. E kaua nga fika ko me o fongue e according to value fongue ia o ye Samoa o lengo fongue. Ya pia ngai peisa ko ia disi mai ya so ia le kikira ke le ko kupele o fa popo mai senge ia o kilowatt. It's so unfair it is. Ya mako ia fai lis. Nga le fokpoanga ia fa mun mole ka kia kunga.
Apsia tu le sento mole. Ya, la opción ali. Substen.
Warren, that building in Malaimi is supposed to be filtered of water to make it clean. Is that one working now or not?
Honorable, yes, it's been working from last year, and I'm glad to report that the water coming out has passed all the tests. We're just waiting for EPA to give us the official notice to lift the boil water notice. The EPA has been doing tests continually, and it's just a matter of time when we get the certificate.
Yeah, that's why I asked the question, because I keep hearing on the radio that water from Ili to Watu need to be boiled. And this is the same thing last year, and as you were here in the budget hearing, you say that what's wrong with EPA? They're not coming to check the water there, or what?
Yeah. It's costing us money to put that ad on the radio, but it's a US EPA requirement. They said until we give you the okay to lift the boil water notice, ASPA is required to make that announcement. But like I said earlier, the water is already cleared up. It's good.
So what's the problem now with the EPA? They're not coming over to check
it's just a process they have to go through and check all the boxes. They do a battery of tests, and all these tests are sent off island. But I'm glad to report, like I said, we're getting positive results. Yeah.
Well, I have a clean water. I'm not worried about myself, but I feel sorry for the people this side of the bay. As you remember, when you show up here, Senator Sartele was really upset because they're not getting the clean water for the village. And hopefully that's something we need to do for these people on this side of the island. So if we do have that function approved by the EPA, they'll no longer have that problem?
Yeah, the water from Malaimi only reaches up to Starkis, Atu. But we have already installed new RO machines for Awa. We're working on new machines at Alau and Whangaitua.
To
And then
help
we have,
them.
all these machines have arrived. There's another large machine that will be installed in Ponausuia, where the water will be like bottled water coming out of the faucet, the tap. Very
Okay.
high quality water.
That's all I want. I feel sorry for these people on that side, because I have fresh water in my place, so, but it's keeping going, and I'm sure, hopefully, because I know there's a lot of senators from this side, they're probably going to ask you the same question, but now that's why I raised the issue. Paftai, Chairman.
Yeah, afkaya kuno fionga kai kumiki molo mabangwa. I have a question, Mr. Paulin. There's been a complaint from your employee from my district that said regarding to a pay raise, you've been raising the new employee, but not the old employee.
If I can put it this way, we ASPA just went through a job evaluation exercise, and it was done by independent consultant. This consultant has done job evaluation exercise for many utilities, including ASPA, Guam Power, Guam Water, in the region. So the study is done, and they provide the recommendation what the pay structure is. But from the results we got from the consultant, some employees were overpaid, so they didn't get a good increase. But all the rank and file, the lower paid people really came up. So we presented that evaluation to the board, and the board approved the payment. We can't just go in and make a change because it was done methodically, and there's a method, like I said, in getting these things done. In any job evaluation, there are winners and losers. Some people who are underpaid, they can't really get up. And then, and some people who are already high, they're not happy because the lower level staff's pay were lifted. And I think it's not the right way to think. But I don't want to discuss individual people's pay in this meeting. But if you have time, if you want to stop by, I'll go into the details, how the regression line and how the job relation exercise was conducted.
Okay, I'm saying what your employees telling me, you know, I don't know, you know, but you're saying it a different way too.
Yeah, the other thing is all the top level staff, managers, senior engineers didn't get an increase. The consultant said, no, their pay is okay, it's the lower rank. So maybe some of those guys are managers and engineers, they're not happy they didn't get an increase. But based on the study, the consultant said, no, their pay is okay. It's the lower level that have to come up.
Okay. Yeah, I think you should treat everybody the same, you know. My other concern, they were saying you're hiring more Fijian than local people here.
Let me put it this way. We have every 100 staff in ASPA, we have 4 foreign workers. 4 out of 100. And those 4 are from, okay, some from Fiji, some from Samoa, and some from the Philippines. We have looked at trying to hire from the US, but we had, for example, we tried to hire PEs from the US. It's $140,000 salary a year. They won't come for less than $140,000. So we have to make a decision. Do we pay $140,000 a year plus housing plus vehicle, or we get from the region? They take a much lower salary, $40,000, $50,000 for engineers. So we have made that decision. Our position is very similar to the hospital. The hospital needs doctors, we need engineers. The hospital needs nurses, we need technicians. So our position is very like the hospital. So we go to the regions or the countries where the pay rates are lower, and we can get people and pay them at affordable rates. Because if we pay these high rates, we will have to increase electricity rates, water rates, and we don't want to do that. We are trying to contain our costs. And like I said, for every 100 workers, 4 workers are either foreign workers, Fijians, Filipino, Samoans, from our cousins next door, from independent state from Samoa. People make these kind of statements. If I may say at this time, we are all public servants. We consider ourselves public servants. And anytime you're in the public servant, you get criticized. And people make these complaints, but that is our response. If we don't hire, then you know, technology is progressing and running away from us. We're trying to catch up. At the same time, I must say this. We just got 8 students, local students, American Samoans, just graduated from New Zealand, 3 in land surveying and 5 in electrical engineering. They just came back from school. All of them passed. And we hired another 8 and another 15 more we're going to send to New Zealand. It is very expensive. So while we're doing this, trying to get people for engineering positions as engineers, we are training the local one as fast as possible. And sending to school is very expensive for us. Yeah.
Okay. I know ASPA had real good people working for ASPA, but most of those people are now either resigned or retired. You know, there's a reason. So, you know, just to let you know. My other question, the question I'm asking you is what the public is asking me. Do you own a construction business?
No. I don't own a construction business, and no ASPA employee owns a construction business. If they do, they have to leave ASPA. We don't do that kind of thing at ASPA. Never.
Okay, the reason why I asked, because they told me you own a construction business in ASPA. I'm just saying it, you know, it's the rumors that comes around. I'm just letting you know this morning. My last question, going in the back of the Family Mart, there's a well there. I was the one that signed when you guys first started, 2010, just to get started, you know. 2016, you guys, even now, it's not even working. What's going on with that? And the family is still waiting for an answer from that well. It's on my family land. But it's over 7, 8 years now, nothing's been done.
Okay, Honorable, when we go out to lease land, we let's say potential for water. But sometime when we get the land, when we drill, there's no water. That's one. Number 2, sometime we drill a well and it produces water. After a while, the water quality degrades, becomes very, we say it has high chlorides, right? And it's not usable. Then we have to abandon the well. So these are some of the reasons, but for your well, I will look into it after this meeting and see what's going on. I don't know the details because we have about just under 50 water wells around the island, and we're still drilling, and we have abandoned over 20 wells over the years because of the reasons I just explained.
Okay, thank you.
Papakaitun le sua o e le ia fisikeli paua o la faukuanga o le lapis alanga vakula faukuanga le Ryan ma sua o le mele o le leai o se resources ka ko e sau mai mai fafu e la ki fang a ka ku fu fang vai whakakia kui ngā o lau whaukuanga pele ka kau ang whai se pili a kou o kalua ngeiang o roi i malai imi whaloloa lai ei se fulu wha container vai ai le ai ama se kupe ale malo e mo i rai mo wanga i kupe ai e kakau o konga e whaia le, kuranga lea. E le kakau e nga kusi se pili ma whai se poses fusenge wa akaku o ia wai, Amerika. E le e ke leva ai wa e o ka i o rako ainga. E umaloa whaonga whangvai me umaloa pe ngaku uka papalu la kual whalauloa. O le mele o ke mawhau iai. Wa pe o le mele le iai kako. E whai mai ai ke mi umo o le grand. O le grand. O le winga o la ofisiri. A wha pe whea ai alu ai le se grand e koe mau. A o le iai me mau ai aku pe Amerika Samoa. A kua kui i lua kafkafa a mesia e le o waleni e le o malamama le waleni le mele. A o le mele o ki kalangoa kuai. Se pili e whai a whape o aso ia. Le raka okulu mele. Paua le kampangi ngā mai e le whangvai a paingu me uma o le ala. Ke mingi, o mai o mai senga. Perang whea ko se fulu wha container senga le ngā mai. Se fulu wha container vai. A ufika i ai container vai ia a moa se fulu senge. Lima senge ave ma o kou. Lima senge e mai soangi le malo. O le mea leo ke whaangongo ai. Ke mi umu ave mei. Wale se me match whanai kupe le malo. Ai le ai se kou sao i ko kongo le malo. Ai wae le whai e mai o kou whaukuanga. Iang whai le ma kou le pili. A o leo lau whaukuanga ngei. E le sa o karakele. Pau al mea o lau whaukuanga. Whai se me o kou. Whai se kou. Awa a kou o i kua i nguu. I ainga i kua mama umanga. E lea i ali si ainga. Le inki whango pai pai. A o lau whaukuanga li kemingi. Kako ngā lua li kemingi. A lau le whaukuanga. O kou whai mainga. O kou ngā e oa le lapisi. O kou whai lai mai le whaukuanga e mako. Kam whai e whakingo se pili. A walawa le mele o le whangvai. A paingu me uma. O kele me. O le fisiri. Ko se fulu ka sanga ko vai ole se lapisi. Se me ave ele lapisi ke i fukinga. Ia paunga o lau whaukuanga. O lau whaukuanga e sa fisiri. Ai e mongi a kele ko ngā lua. A sua. Walewa e ka ua foi o au ma sunga ya ile senkoa ya utu o ma konge le vai a ua fai ku a unga mea a e la ngonga o kaunga kuli kambangi o whare kongu a ua wha Samoa langa mele o i kako e wha Samoa o ki se kako a miu ia o la unga whau kuanga su a ia mangu e kere ko os
Se mo se va nova mole. Tulanga la sa ele paro peo na introduce se kaimio sola. En ke ai kampangi i keminga. Mai ke fo kwanga la ko sa ko sola pule kulanga la langa. O foi kulanga meio ka vale ma pusaisa na ka fa au fo i el EPA se peo le ka same issue. La way at dispose ya ku penga fa nga mo ko kala kem kampangi recycle material ya. Keminga yo la fai fu mai ASPA I kulanga ia ngai ko kalake ele ko kongia ele o charging ala ASPA ia customers mole solid waste o mole scrap metal pole o waste kau pusa isa la fai fua I kulanga ole service ala ko kongia ngai ka pangi contractors ia ka alau o singa kulanga makan mo mal EPA fai se paro peo ma se goods white waste goods peli ka ka foi ngai kulanga fa pela ngai pen pol menga e fa kua mai
Pakai o angafi o karaponga sa ngo mai ke kupe ke kupe da ka ko o sa nganga ra ke kupe kai folinga mai ke o le si vai pisi si da ke kupe e ai lo kar con ke mi le kuanga o kampangi ia ke kele ia ke langa ke mingi ele ko nga o la ko e mai al fang vai apa ingu me ele nga ola ko ele nga pisi kele o le wa mai uma pisi si senga ia fe pisi si ko Amerika Samoa aku o pe ko ka fali Ryan ma so ya me se ko si o ya right
o le pa tai atu le Pionga le sento le pionga ya ma ole sa si mai au.
Ua whaptai atu lau pionga te komiti mo le avanoa. O te pia tulu o le saunoanga a rain ma suai. O le saunga le mu. O wawa ai mo mata mata le mata ngō pio ta vale lo la ua inei la pisi le inei. A lo tanga i manu. O lo polonga tangata ale au whainga luenga i manu o il mele tu. E lua tatonu ina lau tala le whai atu. Lo o la ue la tau le la pisi mea la wale au whainga luenga le ASPA. Ele isi kampani o whai al de ngā luenga lea. Aina o vaenga le ASPA o lo la tau ngā luenga luenga. Hau wa aila iei nei. I whanau o lo ngā luenga motu. Ia si i runga la pisi au mele whai nei. E la kuarka avaria kuila la pisi. Alu koko. Al whanua nuanga nalo lo manatu. Ia whai whapito ko ngā luenga. O mea mongi ia. Mga e kakau. O ngā iei fwes ka vai pai fi ap ka vai pai fwes mako mo. Ai le ngā moku ngei. Au mea le lei kuila. Ia le lei fwes mungo. Ke leo whai aku la se skulanga. Au ke whai aku kaukara sao la bao ranga o e alu so i mungo. Ke alofo i kana whai ngā luenga. Sio mako i pumalo. Lo polonga kausi inga o la pisi i runga. Ia makongi kongo kawa. A le peo wa inge. Pale la ko aku i la pisi. Aben kalamu i oe. O whao i la pisi an mako moko whaman mole. Te awa man whaara whaptais lau sunga te komiti.
Chairman, te mause avanua se i whamamlama si whaenga lea.
Ya,
Ia, whaptai mo saunoanga e wala le siri lau whionga sentoa. O lo tālia ia tātou a wala fau mo manua ma au nuu. Ia, ina ia tumua i tutu sa ilfa tinongo ngā ruenga. Ia peona e mo o iai. Ia ai a maua mai lota vale. Ia manato le alongo atu oe te sawet stala tatu ta vale. Mal falo alo.
Ia, le pionga le presidente le sa si mai au.
O na ifsiria ia sua le pia mei en saunoa. A whapea la wakungisa uka pusa isa leanga mai msingi ka mea. E abeanga i ole, mele kei.
Ia, saunoanga lau whionga le presidente e wala le siri. Ia, o lea lava.
E kokongi la mea ngā pele. Wa wakire anga ka whamai aku e kokongi whai asika o kāra. Se whamamama mai oe. E mamala mai mako umale kungura e whafo.
Ia, whaptai mo le whapsiri. O ta pena ta ua le ua mea ma pusa isa ia wai ta ua le white goods. A whai o o inga residential. Ia e le tutongia. Se vana ngā lava o le malo, government agencies, ia ma government division, ma pisinisi. Ia e paunga o vaenga. O lo tutongi le la pisi le ilunga len. A o pusa isa ma tūlanga ia. Ia e tumua i tusa uma company, o ainga malmalo ele tongia o lo ia le manto ele I footinga I sto ina ulfale ma si ona fal tu ia na wo fo ina maile la to fo mato fainga paanga na ia e ave uma ia tulanga ia ai le ai se me tongia mo le malamalama me se sila fiel mota me se le tunu falung long ele tongia ia tulanga ia I le scrap metal yard ia mal falo alo fa tai
O ala aso e au ai me ia pe whapea. E re ngā whikia le ai ngā mori a kui. O ingi aso whakuranga e o kou e au ai me o mea. E mi foi au kawha whare o inga ku oi aku o kou e au. Sa o ngana?
Ia, whaptai mo le psit. O e tolu aso le vai aso. E o le aso ngafua, ma le aso lulu, ma le aso whareile. Ia, au le tūlanga I o le awiwi al whatinong. Ia, e whautuaina a inga ina ia wala au mai tonu. Wala au matstonu ia na faila ia o mātou fo I tūlanga le procedural service order. Ia, ia ila aso avanoa ia o aso lua mastofi. Ia o aso la na e tu mai atia. Ma le mātou vaenga. Ia e whaiana mātou atu e whaatino ile le ngaluenga. Ia au nei o konkarate. Ia o aso na e tolu e tau tuaila e tau ia mo le foi vaenga.
Wallen, did your office drink the water or you drink the bottle of water from off-island?
In the kitchen in ASPA, I drink the tap water.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's coffee all from that. I don't use the bottled water.
Oh, okay. If I've got you.
Ya, mo bela nori. Ta tomoto. Pionga ia matua, toion.
Good morning, Mr. Wallen, Mr. Tuto, and Mr. Lavau. Marona Vasoifua. First and foremost, I want to commend you for the job you're doing to take care of the utility needs for the country. However, we still have lots of issues and problems with other services with relative to your functions. Whaftai atu I lautou ngā luenga o lautou whita atu ngā iai mo le atunu I le tausinga fo'i o le tātou malo si anga whaeritisi. Ia whapea fo'i nisi ngā luenga o lautou whenga iai. Moni a ua te le whaopoponga ma suinga le lei o tau saunia. Ia ai o loo iei pea whawhita audi o le ala fo'i le nao le nei whaatisinga. Ia whaatasi e fo'i ma nai atu ngalunga o tātou motu I manua. E sao le lei le saunanga le whionga sentoa ia utu. E leo o ia mao. O tūlanga fo'i ia e wa lewa o na matawina ia ai iei pea whawhita audi o loo tutoe. E saunua le whionga le li sentoa e mana amia fo'i manua sta vale tasi. Ia taluai le mawhai o na uli mai ta avale mai ta sopo mai ofu. E tauna luan ta avale. Tofu le motu mal ta avale. Ai I lau sunga lau awa o le ta ua I el ta avale a manu o oma ia ai o le fisili. Le afa whelana saul ta avale mai ta sopo mai a o la pisi ofu. O le vasa le bea lai va ai motu e lua. Wha lua ta avale. Ia ai whapena fo I au nu, awa anu mawhaino atu ta avale au asitai au nu, ia e whaingo whiwolu tato motu. Ai, o nei whisiri ia o le neiwai aso, ia o tau tupu soo le mele ai o le vai aile ili o le lea o ina o le lapisi. Nei alta e ano usuma ia o tango susu e le kalone, o la iei la pisi mai le vai aso le watea. Ia, o le na ona uta watu iau tau silafia, e leo ni fatu fatunga me ia mātou te tala no atu ai, o atu ngalunga. O atu ngalunga e whaavai lunga me olo o vaia, whaatasi ai ma whawhita aulia le atu nuu, o lo tau mai ia mātou o lātou sui. E le nofo la mātou fia tala noa ma outou I mata upu ia. We don't just get up in the morning and call you in to discuss some of these issues. Our constituents do call us. Our constituents complain to us. And when they do, we want to know. And that's the reason you're here today. It's not because we want to talk to you. We don't want to talk to you. But when we have problems, we need to talk, and that's why we're here. So I hope you can appreciate being here this morning as much as we appreciate your willingness to share things with us so that we can make sure that the services are delivered and delivered well to the people who needs and deserve them. Ole fsirimomo. Ole le ota lea la foa I fale malawa o ainga. E fia kon kalate o loo ngalue ina le service na I le taimine. O le wautou ta ua e fitu kon kalate o loo ngalue ina le service lea o le lapisi atoa. E sao lea. Mai le to fitu lana e to fia kon kalate o loo ngalue ina I le auina o le otota la fwa I lea mai fale o ainga. E ese mai lo pisinisi ma le malo mai si mena.
Whaptai, tau noa ngā leo whionga sentoa e wala le fisiri, ia e lua lava kon karate, o lo whaatino ina le leipa, ia mo le tūlanga leo leo toto maota malawa, ia mo le silifia whaptai.
Tō lua e E vai o tau teritori o Konkarate e lua pe ngā lulu e whaatasi ala ua le motu atoa.
Ia, mole silafia. Ia, e ngā lulu e whaatasi ia ona e whaata avale. Ia, e whaunga le taimi e tasi. Ia, e vai la ia vaenga taito lua. Ale tofu ale le Konkarate ia man tangata taito lua longo winga. E whaata ngata o Konkarate. I le aso e tasi. Ia, ai vai la ia pito nu o tutuila. Ia, e whaatino ai lea wha moe.
E lua la ta vale e serving sa sa e lua ta vale serving sifo.
Ia, mo le malama ma silafia le i whaata vale. Whaata vale e whaatino le ngā luenga i taimi uma. Ua fuafua ia matanga luenga. O le aso ngafua, aso lulu ma le asfareile. Ia, o sa e lea, mai ia ione noa. Ia, seipa ia inu uli le alu le i.
E alu umana ta vale na fa i sa e i le aso iau e ta u.
Moni leile sa unoanga. Ama ia fuila le aso ngafua le aso lua. Ia, ona soso atu ai fuila ia. E alu fo ia le wha lea. E alu fo ia le wha lea.
Whalal na o le aso lua, aso tofi, aso tonai, uo i sifu.
Ia, uo i sifu.
Ia, alu Konkarate a tasi.
Ia, Konkarate a ia e lua. Ia, e whaata ngā tāpe, whaatoto ngā tā vale ia. O lo whaunga, wa o le ASPA ia, o le tā vale, ma le awe tā vale.
E uli fo i le tangata whaingaruanga le ASPA. Ia le tā vale.
Ia, moni lei ono le tūla fono. Ia, ele mwhaina whaafue, tangata mai tua, ia, pea o tūla fono tātou whainga malo. Ele mwhaina whaafue, tangata mai tua, tūlanga o meto tino na tanga luenga.
Ia, le o tā vale la i e whāna au mai sau tōu tupena wha une mai I meo grants. Ia, ia I tā vale I e wha.
Ia, moni leile, sau noang.
Ia. E ma whaila au tōu on lisi o tā vale na I Konkarate ia pe a whai e manao I Konkarate ia. Does ASPA consider leasing the 4 rear-end collection trucks to private contractors if they want to?
I put this question to the DOI because they funded the vehicles. They said no, they don't recommend that. If that were the case in the beginning, why did ASPA want to buy it? Just let the contractor buy it. So that was the response from the DOI representative.
So the bidding that you do for the household trash collection, is that a public bid for to provide the employees to man these 4 trucks? Is that bidded out?
It was bid out. It happened one time where there was one.
Just answer my question. Is it bidded out?
Of course, it was.
And how long are usually the contracts based on each bid?
The contracts typically 2 years, and there's a option to renew, and that option is based on the performance. If the performance is good, we renew, and then 3 renewals we rebid, or if the price.
So once the bid is made and the 2 contractors are selected, then according to your system, the renewal is optional to them, and if they renew, then it continues on without any further bidding after 2 years.
No, it's optional, but with ASPA's consent. If the service.
ASPA's, what is that?
ASPA has to approve the extension or the renewal, because if the service is no good, we will not extend.
Yes, but if the service is good, you just renew without further bidding. Is that what you're saying?
That is correct.
Even after the expiration of the contract?
We normally do this before expiration. Honorable, this is why we have to do it this way, because some of our solid waste collection, the contractor have to buy equipment. If we rebid every 2 years and they lose the bid, like Senator Utu's case, when he lost the bid last time, all his trucks are parking, cannot use. This is why we have to make an extension, so when the contractor invests in equipment, he gets a return.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because that's the very point. I know I raised this point with you folks the last time I sat here and asked you questions, Well, I was sitting over there, actually. And the point is, if you are now just asking contractors to provide manpower to attend the 4 trucks, why aren't they just hired as ASPA employees? And then you be responsible for their conduct all the time, instead of having to monitor their performance.
Great question. This is the reason. Trash collection, our local people or US nationals and US citizens, they don't do this type of work. They prefer to do higher level work or go off island. So it's very hard to find US nationals and citizens to pick out trash.
Who said they're limited to US nationals?
No, it's not limited. They don't apply for these jobs.
But if the same people who are working for the contractors that are permanent residents and can apply for the jobs, what's to stop you? Because they're permitted to work in the government force.
That's true also, but that's one reason. The second reason is we try to give work to contractors. Because every time we take something, we just heard the complaints from some of the members. Why ASPA taking it back in? So,
but then we end up with our constituents, when they complain, you have to go talk to the contractor. You have to complain to the contractor, and you know, I don't think that's fair, because if you're providing the service to the people should direct that to you who are servicing the need for the territory. But now we have another level of bureaucracy you have to accommodate because it's contracted out.
Point well taken, Honorable.
Will you consider it? Okay, because I know that this was the very reason that before you came in during the first administration of Governor Lolo, ASPA was providing the service full-time. Isn't it correct, Mr. Tuto? ASPA was providing the trucks and the manpower and was servicing every aspect of the trash collection, except for solid waste.
Yeah, le taimi le duafes fulua ele no foile no le ovanga lolo sayai ai luaf su tolu na piki loa fai fa kon kalake kwa luafes futu.
And since that time, we started having these issues from the communities. So there is a direct correlation from the switchover to partly ASPA, partly private contractor, and the complaints the communities are raising with the service because of the performance of the contractors.
That is our observance as well, Honorable.
All right. So thank you for informing us that you will take this into consideration and re-look at the issue so that maybe we can avoid these face-to-face meetings when there are no complaints. ASPA is providing the direct service. And I want to commend you specifically for bringing down the rate. I know it relates largely to the cost of the surcharge coming down substantially, but holding the course on the base rate, I think is fair, and we should at least commend you for holding that, constant, and in the same rate for the past 10 years that I'm aware of. So, but in going forward, I know that we had a discussion before with ASPA bringing in its own fuel, which reduced the cost at that time when it was fairly expensive. But I can't help but feel that since the price has come down, how much more you could have saved from the surcharge if you were importing your own fuel. Do Do you think that's a viable alternative going into the future, or is that something that you've totally dismissed?
We can relook at that model again, but yeah, we can remove. We haven't since we let go the importation of fuel, ASPA's own fuel. We haven't revisited the idea, but we'll look at it, and if needed, we can report back. Yeah.
How often do you bid out the contract for the fuel supply?
We have extended the contracts for one main reason.
To PIE?
No, we have two suppliers.
You have two suppliers?
Yeah, two suppliers. The way our bids for fuel work is...
let me get on that, because I thought there was only supplier, but now you're saying there are two suppliers of fuel to the territory?
That is correct.
And they both have ullage in the tank farm, or does the other person have their own capacity?
That is correct. They both use the tank farm.
So they both use the tank farm, and they're assigned certain ullage for each company?
Correct.
And who's doing that? Do you know, if you know?
Well, there's two companies, Sunrise and Sunrise, also called Clipper Oil, out of the US. They are the smaller supplier, and the main one is Pacific Energy.
And you do buy fuel from Sunrise?
Both of them at the lowest bid. When we put out the bid, the winning bidder will get 60% of the supply, and the the runner-up will get 40%. But the runner-up will have to sell it at the price of the lowest bidder. That was how we put out the bid. And the whole idea is to keep two competitors. If we go just down to one, it's very dangerous to have a monopoly.
I agree. And that was the basis of my previous questions. But now that you have two competing suppliers, I think it's a good thing for you and for the country. All right. And how are their supplies delivered here, if you know? Do they use the same tanker, or do they use separate tankers?
Sometimes separately, and sometimes they share the tanker.
I see. The reason for that question is because the biggest element in setting the MAP, or the minimum allowable prices, which involves also what you end up paying for the tank farm, is the transportation cost. And that is always the biggest element of that price that's charged to you. And it makes a lot of sense if they're sharing delivery instead of bringing in two big tankers for such small amounts. All right, thank you very much. And I think that helps our understanding of where we're going and what you're doing. And and I appreciate the information very much from you. The solid waste commercial, how many contractors do you have working there? E fia au tau konkalate o le tūlanga le me o lapisi o pisinisi malmalo?
For the dumpster, we have one.
And that's the TNT?
TNT, correct.
Okay. Is that also a bidding process, or just an award?
It was a bid and then extended, but that extension ends this year.
I see. Okay. All right. And what was the third element of trash collection? You had the metal thing?
Scrap metal.
Ia ole o tōtara ua mea.
Ua mea.
Ia ma mea o pusa aisa, se tulou, ia ma sofa.
Ia la saunanga la sua o ua mea ia I fale o ainga. Taito tasi a eleni fale o loa e leo ni leo se pisinisi. Ai tūlanga na e fia la fuai e tatongi se tau ia te utou e ave ese atu ai mea ia mai maota malawa le tunu.
Ia whaftai mo sili, ia mo sili. Ia le ai, ele tōngia, au nanga ia mo residential. I tātou ainga te
Panga
tas.
na ina pisinisi e
Pangangai
tongi
lawa
la
pisinesi,
tomal
ia,
malo i tulanga
e
lai.
lua whai unga e awe ai. E o ala tau e awe. Ia pe tongi se konkarate e o e whaatino ai le awe e mātou.
Te pawala le mea fu ngare o le umil fatali awa awa awati au tau ma sare tos furu aso fa tau watu truck sare maul me sa wele truck
Laua whaititia mai 5 aso.
o 5 aso le wi
Sa
ni
toru
o
sfuru
ia
i
o
stau
le
sama
la
ia.
tato fa
E o
tai
lima
o
aso,
ma fsiri
whaftai.
lo fianga te
We
komiti
don't charge for scrap metal.
Da vionga ia atualwa.
Sia fsili le sua. Langa le ka o mamla mangi sangwanga le sing koe akungi. Mele ka ole employees contract le ye ka vale fa o ko. Wa le we ka uma sing koe out oila kon kalake nga le ka ole employees contract. Le ka whainga luenga ye o ka vale ia o koe. Wa la ulu fai mai ele hai le fai mai won ele hai o kon ka whainga luenga a lau fa nga le kon kalake le oila kon kalake nga le ia.
Ia e tau whai tete se la ngona lau a
Nanga le
whionga
we ka
sentoa.
uma utu.
Lei mole sila fia. Au te le i tauina le whionga le matua. Mona au lau whionga ona o le whionga le matua. E le o te tonu te minei te wana ngai lau a whionga. Ia.
Yoi le la we ka ua. E ka wena ngai ka ua mai. O ai kon kalake ngai. Whai ngofia kam ka upuri sua. Ka mai. E whai ngofia sia ka kom ka up.
Ia. Ia ole
Ngai kolu le providing a service le. O le prison, o le terrorist transport, and pango disposable.
ia moni le sa unga le whionga le prestene.
Kampanina le providing
o le prison ma le terrorist transport.
O le sila
and pango disposable.
O le ala le mea o kou o ka hai kou ka vale ia. Ka vale ia, me ka vale ia maunga. O ka kou ka vale, a ngā kou keilua. E le ingo ka whainga lua. O le ala se kala o kou, o le ala o complain mai ia maunga. A o le o hae o kou, a le o mai o kou ka vale, o kou ang whaia ka vale lo seis. Ma le kou marmlama, o mang kou iloa. E le mwhain kou ka whainga lua. Le lau kou mai koe haia, ia lau kou te le eisku. Mea ngā leo o ofisiria koe njei. O ngal complain e mai a maunga. A o kou, leo whai mai ngei i le kou kai kai. Ngā o kai o kou ka vale. E kren ngā mai ai. O rau la whau kua ngari sua. Waka kaun for sale kou ka vale, pēr whai len kou ka whainga lua ngai whao ngā ka vale. O rau ngā whau kua ngari. Le e kampangia maunga. A le isi kampangi a o kou. E le kaun kou whai pisingisi. O rau ngā whau kua ngari suam. Wallen ma, right? Ia, i mangu i kele ni es whakai chairman.
Le whionga le prestene.
Sidi lang o pau. Wallen, who at the Interior Department said you cannot lease out this truck so that my staff can contact and find them out, whether you're telling us the truth or not?
Yeah, trying to get his name. But the local representative was Lydia Nomura. I asked her, and but the person who gave me the information is, please let me get his name. I haven't seen his name on email recently. I don't know if he's still with the Department of Interior.
Yeah, because I'm going to inform my staff to contact the Interior Department. Who the Interior Department said you cannot lease out this truck to private sector. See, as you said.
No, the Honorable, what
because
I said...
Because Senator Tongiora said, and you said you cannot lease out this truck. That's the order from the Interior.
Yeah, what I said is they asked us why you buy it in the first place if you want to lease, right? That was the, why did you buy?
Yeah, and you said the Interior said you cannot.
Yeah.
Who at the Interior said that, so that we can contact them?
Yeah, the local field officer is Lydia Nomura, and then the I can't recall the name of the of Ireland, President.
How many members of the board at the ASPA?
The board,
Yeah.
there's 5 members.
So how much they pay?
For the regular board members is $5,000 a year, and for the chairman, $6,000 a year. No more. That's it.
Okay. It's not same as the hospital, like 1,000. No, they still.
I don't know what the hospital is doing, but I know what we pay our board members. 5,000 a year
Yeah.
for regular board members, and the chairman 6,000.
Thank you, Wale. After I have chairman, umala of city.
Ali pakai tu ni. Tu presiden. Dia nak ni. Oleh pawai apa ini buaya. Oleh store ia mea oleh windmill ma isi mill bang alvai. Oleh ele I ngai o ia se meo o projects ngai. Ana le amakanga alu le amakanga kongi disi ngai. Ale le ngai o ia se project I kasi o mea ngai windmills ma solar farms. Ala wa amakanga stock le kampangi a mea ngai. Lau alu kupe koinga disi ngai. O le pleskenge le ngofo mai ngai kemingi. E mo ale fia mele o le Green New Deal. Wale vivia pleskenge le ngofo mai kemi. So le minga le si o le wa committee le kampangi e kokongi lisingi. Ale pi lau kikiro pi o le fa silingia le support mai ali ango fo inga le ngi pleskenge ma I por kalama lang o pleskenge le ngi ko le vivia I meio o ale wa commit ko pe ali kampangi a makanga nga stock ai mengi de wo prep ai mengi wa anu ko pe I fongo ai nga ia kai milion aren ka o le wa o man commit ali kampangi e sikio ai fongongi mo lising ai ale na wa ku lai mengi pleskenge e ko le vivia ia Trumpi I meio ole aku lunga nga tang lawa makanga ngalu ia finances er kampangi ale ASPA e fa kingo ia lising ai ale le mo kingo I mean ole guarantee e support en mo fo inga le inge bleskengele ya por karamangi o la I kongo le o lo kwa na me ngale abe meye Estoy con lo que quería con el cacolo cuai o venga capenga lei estoy me algo abanga o lo ponen ma ko pe fa fo kwang ina cause eseli la cause eseli ASPA mai de la core function o le provide le service lei la ku o la ile Department of Energy la ele sunga ya kava peia ona kowie sa konga ku yele le investigation o meia I focus le ASPA anga I la ko ka fa yo ngalenga ka ko penga I la ko I komiki mal kanga wenga ala u kilo nga ye o longo duo oi o kangakangi le wahaya provider ASPA ka vale mali driver ai haya ngakangi mai o ai liable I ka fanga ringi o ASPA body na le provider ASPA ma ya ka vale koi ku ye mali driver ana le koi a mai kangakangi fa fanga ringa o e fa pele kula
Paftai lava le Chairman Mafaf City se I kamenta ku le silmumua
ya
o tulanga o le vanua le ipawaiai o lo ngā solo le kako solar farm e wha ia whaswhanua lenga wha tino e whaile le ngalwenga lea. O ia leo miti leo lunga le awala, ia ma le whanua te lele i tua a tua nei tau, le whionga le sao, ia makua ia koruao. Le langa o le public information e leo se. So, o le sao e le sao lea o le core function ASPA o le tulanga o le wila mo le vai. Pek sirifia i lo keiminga i NTND, taua tele le tau o le wila. Paua ia awala e longa nga keimi o le whionga ia utu i malai. Ta naua utu e tau soenia awala i whaititi e ta wha ai lalo tau o le wila. So project sia nga visualize e utu. O meo solar ma le wind. Paua le awala i whaina whaititi e tau o le wila se taimi umi. E onge tatou whamoe ke le suau po le fuel. E sa o se core functional ASPA. A e ngau i le paua kau le generation po le whainga o le wila. So the renewables is an option or a way to e whai tu longa mo se taimi umi. Ya o le ngau le ASPA e sa ilingi awala e whai te tau le wila. E onge tatou whamoe tele i le suau. Ya o tulanga o le storage. Ya o e ngai projects ia le ASPA ka o le waste to energy, solar ma le wind. Waste to energy la o le awhai le po se compound e wha ngausia i le lapisi la fuai. E wha mo se wila. Ya o pe se temi o solar sa store ASPA i container i le Lions Park. A pe fa o le stadium. Wa complain mai le Parks and Recs mai si malwatunu. O la mo whanga e ASPA kulanga ngai store ai. Le o lava se storage facility i kongo lokoa. O lo ngai fo me fo isi container luas fo kasi le va te mine lo ka mai. O le o containers la ngai fa wa le project le waste to energy. Ona mia se area store mo se temi umi. Ya ma whanga nga tulanga le fonua ya lo miti. Na tu e fai fo isi vanga le PV. Ai le mo temi ne le whanga storage. Se mai ai ia project sia. Ya pola se finga le mga I fa solar mo se temi o luma. E tali le lo sili va mole.
Ai na ia ka ia ni fa ngai.
Ya pe ona tanu atwai se temi o sola o le ngau le ASPA ia fai pe pa anga mo pisingisi kulanga konkalake ia ongi ave motu e ASPA tulanga o le solid waste. Fai lasi pa anga fa pe mo sa wala mo sa vale mai le federal. So swange onge isi ia I ka o le service. So lisi le pa anga e so swange fo I le private sector. E bid out the labor. E le unga e ke le fo isi areas le bid out ma ko le labor. O le te unga le mato fale le I le
na kana ko sa ko lo su. O lo ke ka ngo kuli. O me liability o ka whainga renga lea.
Ya sa.
Da ngai le uska whainga renga laspa. Ngari driver mar ka vale le. A le lawa mai le ASPA ka whainga renga ngi a mai whainga renga. O liability la me le ka nga ia ngai amut.
Ya okay ka
nga ngai. O le sinai ku. A down le ka vale le for maintenance. E ko kongi nga ngai. Ya por con que le ule.
Honorable, no, we don't. If the work is not done, then there is no payment.
Lo vinga ali a town le ka vale le wo molianga. E con ia nga ngai. De ai. Ya, li. Lo pionga.
Te committee. Ona ua e ta ua lau sunga tuto. O le miti a le whionga ia utu. O le au mai a le au renewable energy. O whiala tau sanga na a mata e le ASPA o na whau ia PV ia mega solar panels ia sa whaongai tono le wil. O whele tau sanga na amata ai le policy al ASPA e whaonga solar panels that produce electricity.
Whaftai whafsidi o le luafe ma le iwa ngā mawaile grants a le ara whaatuai solar panels le I le malewalele. Pe mo le temi na tula ilo fionga le I whaakowana. A o le scale langa mo se like a testing.
Leo tau sanga whurna lena matai le PV manua ma amatai na tāpena le I le whaonga ina le PV mo manua. Ai sa whatau nuu I taimi o utu. Saore.
I saole.
O le mewa la ono utu e fisiringi al tūlanga na I le whea. I lo sauno mai whapea. Ai o te manatua o taimi ia na amatai le whaonga ina le solar panels e soani I le ngosio le tise. O taimi o taitai whono le fionga I le tei o le Maoputasi o whanene, Morris Scanlon, I le ASPA. O ia le nāmala na pōna amataina le polokalame, e sawa au.
Ia, sao le whamaru atu pe whai wa le...
Ia, tau lana wha sao le tātou tāla langa o lai whaafonga mai ia I tangata e lātou te iloa ma māsani mea ia e le whea le ave o le credit I le tangata. E moni o le fionga ia autu na whaalau te le ina I le polokalame le ua taunu umai le so. Ai o le policy na whaatulai le ASPA e move le generation from fossil fuel to renewable energy was during the time of Whanene Morris Scanlon. Sao.
Sao le lo fionga.
Thank you.
Ya, le fionga ya no.
Chairman Mola Vangoa. Kawanga ia kwase fasili e foi ona a fasili ia sentoa. Kulanga foi e kako pamu vai e la wele ele o ainga. O le upumoni lava o le o yele pamu I lo o whanua. Ko kiki ama o le mele fia kalangoa atu ai. O ngar kulanga leanga e di ei paipa fo I e sau wai le vai sau anga I kaile. Sau nuka ngā whai ngai le awala. Alo awala sa makwa makangofia. Kai kongu po le si la fia e. Masanyanga o laku karsanga aku. Se fisosoangi kulanga ia. O le kalia le la fai. Le la aku e fisosoangi kulanga fo ia. Wae nga makwa le angara awala i. Kulanga lea. O le mongia e o mangeia e leia se meo whakingoa. Leia ma se meo whatinoa ia kulanga. E kuakua I ngā. O lisi mea. Kalangoa. O le lua vai asa onke aku o uma aku fongo o manga waku whamani mako ainga. Nga iei kama o kou vaenga ngo aku kulanga fo I o mori. Whamei o laua koe pili. O la kai fiku ka la e whapopo I mori. O kau kat kongu lang saula kongin ma pili vaso lea man mako ainga. O kolu se lau mon kupul piti. Asa le masaing whapera. Mafua se ale mea.
Ia, whaftaile ma whafsidi se I le ale a mosa ono whamolo fionga se suatu sa ua ailo pili. Langa o tulanga I o moli, elo se me fau le charging o moli tono o whale o ainga. E fitala e mo le wila, tau le wila, a whaio I se moli tono lo mauta, I tatafa na lo mauta polo whanua. Elo se me fau whamolo.
O le me whai a kuai. Langa sa le whapenga. Ai whafua se I o ngā kupuaku kulanga. Pe o lo winga o whamtalanga le kau whale tonu wai le mawau whau. Pe sa kau o ngā ese kulanga fo lele longo puia li ima whailoa. A ngi mea kupu whafua se I whapea. E le makango fie. Tūlanga ngā, o lisi mea. Tūlanga I kako ngā ruenga fo I e kau karsa akua o lo whanguanga le lei. A whakingonga ngā ruenga I e le whaingo pamu lai I ngem kurang pe ngā. Ke le ufika wa ia. I le whaingo ngā ruenga. Ke le ufika wa ia le makango fie. O lisi mea. A aku wa rough ke le mea I mea ngasua. O aku leo lau whangau e moa le whanua. O whainka kele. A wā karuang whai. Ele ia sesi o ko waenga. E aku e kilingi mea ia mkulanga mea pera. O le whangau au le whai e kulanga nga. kulanga o isi ngā mea kaunku aku i ngā to ma sua e fuafua ngā i ai te kulanga ngā ai lo sesi a kulanga lo sesi a kulanga o le mea ngā le kala ngoa koe o le ale kulanga i kako pamu vo i ei vai o le asfe kulanga o kou ofisa ma kou vaenga i kulanga i kou nginga o ngai mea ia. Pe o leka o maua fo i le isi kulanga ia.
Whaftai mo lewa noa, mai alo na maua le whaeaea le tūlanga o le vai ma le pamunga o le vai poua talwhenai. Ia na whailo le lisi. Lisi la na amataina tongi ia tūlanga o le whanganga o le whangua. E whele rates o lo o iai ngā tūlanga.
Ia, whafkai la whainga la kulanga ngā ai. O le mea e mo mia wha mo le mole. Ia o ngā o le awala fo i lele pe ang kalangoa kua ia. Ia ke milanga i ki munga. Ia o whai asi. Anga tupur mafu anga ngā. O kongkalake le ngā ria paipai ia ka kong sau kuro. Mea la ngai karsanga kua ile. O ofisa, mat whalaro. Kai chairman.
Tai atu ro fionga te komite wha maluru atu ro fionga presidente ma le malon moto toi manu se leo. Ono lo fio mal malama le solid waste. E le se me fa pe o manua. Se me leo le me leo le a. Le al wele wai la fo. Le sua, sua line. Me le sua line. E le se me fa pe nga o manua. E o me ka ko e ala nga vakulanga o me sawa me ke lango tia chai e mako moko.
Paftai lava mo le avanoa o le mataupu o le mataupu fou o tūlanga o le groundwater protection fee o le fee le whaatino mo a isomi ka vai SS le tūlanga o le ASPA service fee o le groundwater protection fee pui ele tūlanga o le vai o one i sao ni leanga po ni soau po ni tūlanga ka pui e foi le tūlanga o le vai tamafa.
Ola uisi fisiri pa mole. O te tonia e le ASPA ia me leo solar panel i company le ona le. Leo mo ia le solar panel i nge ia tātou.
Le maua pala tonu le fisiri.
Le winga lo fisiri langa lo ia solar panel manu. E tira o koma company leo mo ia solar panel.
Ya o solar panel i manu o solar panel o own el ASPA elo ni sono perong i kapangi panga nga kapangi le fengai mamaa ma le software po o si tulanga matu fafso tai ai ale fanua ma le solar elisi ma own el ASPA ia totonga ole project
ma fu angal pesidi vatu tai no solar panel ta yof tal wana fa na solar panel pe tasi ala so no la o mai nei ale to yo la on me monia o tele o mal mala po le altu lango o ye solar panel te yo a me se for solar panel te o ye te me o la pe nan tu atu wa pe nai to tap si la nei o motu na fa si mama tu le nei pa tai temen mo lam no
la pioga ia ti ale
kai do fionga kai komi hakulo fo il mo ko le tunu le fiole kai il mo kama ko fionga sento e kasi ala ufesiti ole vai fo ile ale penga sa ngo ko ia tongiola vai fo ia la fo ia ngai o ainga fo ia la ko kange mau o mai. Sa laku ka vale wha o ngai mako ainga le. E pa moe kulon moka. Pa moe kange o tungu o pamu. Mo pisiri le ia i le. Si kama. E ko kasi al kama ngā laku mal ka vale. Pailang ngaluanga la e. A whai mai re sau ngoanga asiari. A whaakoru loa ngā pām. Ngā kokongi lola e. E saular ka ngā kai whaatungut pepa I le officiale I ngā I ukule I. Me le ye kange wale. Esko officiale ye inga. Le ye de me saunga o le saunga I te miuma. Whamera koe kupolo se me whape. In bako o kange. Nga saulola e kokongi pepa, e whaatungut pepa ma kokongi kupe. O la ofisiri la. E saol mena. Pe se fo nga kong kalake e angal mea nga aide o se kong kalake mai a oko.
Ja, whaftaila wala whiong mal whafsidi. O tūlanga o le waila whai, o le ka o mako o le honey wagon service I tulo. E whaatasi le tausanga o na watufua le service nga mo le malu o le atunu. E le o lunga le sewer line. Me se anu tua, nu talatu atu I le sasae ma le sisifo. O le tūlanga langa o le toni o le groundwater fee. A whaila Il tōna tausana. E ninga pamu whaatasi pe whaalua. Ia o le kaulanga kongi le extra service. Nga o le whaatasi nga makufua I le kausanga. O le manatu. E le tauna pamu whaalua pe whaatolu si tausanga wanga ngā. E le o sanga le mū le tūlanga o le tangi. O le o se tangi nga whausia I se standard o le lei ai le drain field. O le si tūlanga o le alo le waila fua I lalo le ele. Ia, e le o lola lo mauta po le a se tūlanga na. Ai sa o tasi tausanga e watu fua. Te ena tu matasi tausanga. Ia, e to toni le extra service ngā pēa whai o tupu system tausanga.
O kange ngā whai e kou vaenga. Kange plastic e lea e luopo. Ngā whai la e vaenga luai le line, luai le lalo. E aluanga I leisi ku. O le whaalu lawe la mea ngā happen ke minga. Ke larki munga, ai fōu whaingol ngā luanga. Sau loa le kimu. Wanga ngā whai a kama ku uai ai de I u. Alu lo I rungar ka. O tomu lalo le vai. Masangi la ngā kang. O fiula la ungoe koe whai le vai leila. Masalo le mea ngā lea ku pai kang ya. Ai le whapea whaingo le mea. Ale winga la ngara o kala pe sao e kokongi. Wa umanga laku le kawale whai le mea. Pamu mua kulon mauk. E wa umalana. A whai meiro la unga. A whai la koe mga o mako pōne pia koe happen education. Sa lola al kangaka e whaatumul pepa I le official I ukule. Ia makongi ai pe se lau e fia e le kongen. O lea la lau fesini. Pe sao. Nanga o e renga o au ke lo la tunu e whape ngā lako ai. E alu ai. A lea ngā leo ke whaalongolongo. E kau kua o kou yo so umai le mea lea re. O le ka avale lea la fo e le vai lea. Au ke fia mana malamba. Pe sao. Pe kokongi. Pe le kokongia. Lalarkai.
Whaftai ma le whafsidi. O tūlanga o le tonginga o le service pēa whai o le tas. Awa lua. O tona tūla whono o lo whaia. Langa o le groundwater fee le tongi I customers le tūlanga o le la baila whai. Ia, e batu ai le pamu se tūlo. Mumua e free. E batu fua. Ia, leo se tūlanga la pāpea whea lo sao se vai kongo le tangi se tūlo. Ia mana o mian toi vai toa I one toi tupuso. Tūlanga le pēa whea timtele. A o le tongi ngā whaoi fi, e le tongi utulei. E tongi I pangpango po o I tāwhuna pēa mele le customer service. E le tongi utulei langa e le o se ofisa ngā e abe se tupe. O utulei po I pango plaza la e fai el fenga nga pe fai e mana mia. Se lau le masfulu le extra pump.
Ia me ngā le fia mana mai ia. Rongo winga lau wa mai kama sau e laku yukulei. Ia, waila lau ngonga. Nang kere i fai kaua ngu mera kawan. Wasi se la langa ngoka ngang sau. A sao o ke mana mai kongit pili i. A whafka ia kua kua lisi lamia. O ol makongu. Ikan mer fale leo. Pe wa faide. Wala wa ku ma container kele ho yem fa pu koidi. Fa pu koi nga. Ai donga sa on me. A hadu ko kawan. Ala kwa piki mer container. Ala nga sa kon ide au nga kele ropo o ferme sa uma nga container wa. Ma ko mu le container wa penga nga container le fa lo. Mal container le pi onga le adu ai awale mo se fau ia mal container le u ka ya e pe ia kolo ma ko konde ia mau ka fale onga kasi konde ainga o pese senda vo le lo pe o ke va ai faingo container ke le ia la mai o lo inga de a umala ki dinga ingo lapis ma fola ia la eo o mea e ka taunga ka lao e ko vaenga leo a koe piki lapis. Langa o mako whamua. Ma kau hoi ko waku mua a kore area nga. E whaama malanga rei whai e ko ngaruanga. Ai den kupe a mako o moa. Nea mongi a kaunga kongi. O kei mi ngei e do ko whinga a whaifua mea. Lea kongi ko wila. Whasikau kāro wila. E ka whai lang kongi e leia koi mea. Ia ka ki aku i au ko. Manguia ka au.
Ia. Ia, waku le pionga ia, kung ikau.
Tile whangu mole vai. E fiele cha te o kole le suanlain pilio o le kako waku.
O le groundwater protection fee, a whai e somi ka vai e lua wha tā lai fitu sene le masina.
I kāka ko kas.
I le mika vai e kas. So o le mita vai a male charge.
O le kupela ngai ka vai ma le suanlain. Ma le vai le pui e le sua vai.
E ka vai ma le operation a le vanga o le whia ngai ma le shoreline, ma le pamunga o
e luas fulfata la nga ele ka vai le pe le merenga matu e moangu tia. Le la pamu fa ya montua wa fake ka ingala wa. O ule yola ule le suanlain. Le wa luas fulngi ko tango ngofolu fale fai ale le septic. Si kuroa. Ia lea ki au fika kule lusu whaka langa matalopo o luas fulkau tanga matalopo over lua fepe whadima fel kupe war. A le wingara whamkalanga le koe kukuli me koe kokongi le pamunga le sualain pia whakolunga pang. A le kokongi ma kore le kupe le pamunamon pe whenga pamamanamama.
So o tulanga tula fot le whaftaima whafsidi. O le fi foi le ele nga o le shoreline po o le fanga foi matau e tongi swa upea mai swa mai farka vale ya e la foi fa foi o e ko fa mama ma ese ya le singa au nga o le pidi o le fi la au tulanga o le pamu ya o le tula fono le nga fa vai e tasi le pamu fua i le tausanga. For every customer that's on the septic tank po le vaila fua i te tulo wale le mauta. E tasi il tausanga e free. O le matou e telo isi fale e le aunoma se lua pe tol tausanga o lo mana meal service. O ngā ele o le sanga le mu le tangi o se area lo vaia. Ia, whenitanga whakuse kala langa le o malama ke le keisa ko inga. Ai pe matu tu vai tuai ko la tulanga o le kongo kula fongo le temi nei. Tasi le pamu free mo tausanga. Le awhai e low service la.
Ko kikia kolu se lau ka la le kupere mo ko le lusu whaka la le charge ko le sua nai ma le vai puipuia. Ora winga la fam kalanga fa pe pam fa rue e kaulanga kawa i le ia ke lo foi a fa pe a ko le lima ka tanga o la e kawanga kawa le kupere pe a fa e pam fa ko le pamu le kange le kausanga. Ngā ka kia ku ngā pa una mulu whea tinka ka. Nanga le kongi foi piri koe whapopo o kou isi piri.
Kai lava le fiong.
Le pate atu le city central, le fionga le mai tai leo ia ma ponga le statu patai.
Kaya kui rau fionga le te te komit. Ma ngai ar whalongolongo makamaka e mau e fo ingi si ma ngai ala ngai fo i kai au. Ke le la fole lei. Ia le fo mo wai se mamrama e anga I mela iki o. Pe ala ku se pawaka ko kulanga la ia lo fai fa maloa ku ni to mba kofi. Mo ngai fo I fa me moi a me se fo I Warren le blanc e fa pe o ska ko le lungo kon kala ke fo se l'ASPA. Ia le ra le ai o le alo ka kala le ki avangwa. Ai kofi. O ke le manga la bako kula pisi ko chaste e le inkanga inkalonge la pisi ai chaste o kole ia foi la pisi so lo ngala la sa de pilo la kongi la pisi ai e aluka ka so malang kalonge ku ai po wa menga e masanga fai o cold service nga e vakule a me sho a inga fole ka mo la ko pili be ma ya la ko fa pili la ko vila kon provide o ko mo kalonge la pisi ai langa la le sa ol pili la sa wela charge ai le inkang ngi kalonge la pisio va po ai le lo ko si la yai ai le vai el kadi se vai vai o ma chama ko ia pe fo sa ko mo ya mo ki ama le fa nga ko ma ko vai e ko nga ki muro o sa u le so vai a so parpala e vai ke me so nga kai di mai ko la ki yang ka so lo mangingo mangrong vai mai e yang le ngor ke lo ke me el wala fai kangea angu wala fai fongo ai ngala lo chache po pidi fo o ko a o lang kim yang ese lo langol ka ko vai le se sakivo por me ke mai fo se si ai le o kulanga le lei ai nga wa ku kaf ya ofisidi ke le ofisingia nem kwa ka uangi ofisidi pa wan me ka ua ya o ko nga peong sango ya fionga sen ko ile le kiki nga luenga ke le ia malo foi la pale ya va penga le ai si la ia o va bisho kali ai vesho kali va pe mela piche es fulu ko fulu ma ko uma ma vom kalo ya por kali la nga de fi fa no ya va ftai
o ia lo pionga le mai kai nau ska ko va kai oi kanga luenga ya
Kele lo se fafkai e o fafkai langa va a ole me siling fata u fafkai le fionga te committee mo foi la mongo e velo fata va fai su le fia ku la fionga presidente o malu fionga sento a me se la lo fionga lo fai ka komik kele ya ka le o ngi fo I ka ma o kalko e u ya e pe on kala fu e fa o kingi kangaka la foa ku le lenga inga ma ko fia ma un kan le ai le ka wole le mamalu la a ka wol fa fon ka po mai ala tunu pe a ku mangia fo ngi lo longa au kar kongo le chile lo longa chile on fa ka u ngi fo ka ya kelem ka u polo fia mamla mai la kongo malo ka le ya kar kongo fo ya le se me chile ko le chile la kongo awala ko nganga yang le kua Mr. Warren I hear you loud and clear and I really appreciate it and thank you much for you guys service. It's not easy but keep the good thing going ya o sa mako kala ngale ka fa ya ku le malole al ko lo lau ya o family nga fa la fianga el presidente man malo fianga sentoa ya ala ngai ka o fo af kai lo fionga ile te committee ya no la noa
ya mananto e man sina le soale le saunoanga le wa fionga le te mai tai le au ya ngai le ngai fo ese le vai vai sa o le saunoanga ya me sa to wa fionga ia a se leo vai fai ma fonga tau mo le fionga ia Wallen ia me se foi to ia suai vai malu poenga le nei tai au ia fo ise fatinonga wole tau ia se au nanga wole o ilau ia fa mo la vai le li ia na te mai le poto ma le ta mai me se malus au le talo ile tua ia wani me sa pu o lo to silsila ia mana to le aina nei tai au ai alo fangia le tua lo to soi fo tau tua te wa nga ina ia al moto le tunu mo se manuia tu tuila o nu manua ma olo ia anga le tua mfa salaf manuia telele tuanga ia e mesele weekend soi fo